speaking of next man up mentality, right, guys? The Gophers, we know, regardless if it's Oliver Moore, Jimmy Snuggerud, others that are in the pipeline, they got a couple more commits this past weekend. Drew, we'll start with you to talk about the two guys that the Gophers have verbally gotten commits from. And yes, we have to say that now in today's day and age, because unless an NLI is signed, certain fan bases might go crazy when they decide to flip recruits, say, hey, Cole Iserman. Who did they pick up?
Yeah, LJ Mooney and Hayden Reed. It's I watched a few clips of LJ Mooney, who's also the cousin of one Logan Cooley. I think watching some of him play, some of his clips. Obviously, he's I think it was the 16U team in Pittsburgh, but he's got some speed against the guys he's playing against, and he's able to finish. So I think it seems definitely like a very big get for the Gophers specifically, and I think as the recruiting pipeline continues to grow, and it seems like nowadays, like in the sweet spot of Bob's coaching tenure, I think so far is they've got a couple of really high end guys up front, seemingly every year, and I mean obviously Nyes and Cooley leaving is devastating. It would be, I think, any more though for any other program, it would be a lot more devastating than it is for the Gophers, just because they were able to bring in Oliver Moore, and I mean even Jimmy Clark looked really good this last weekend too. But some of these guys that are high end and going to be high end, not right off the bat or in terms of NHL draft pedigree, but it's a good guy to get. And I think if they have him kind of in the pipeline ready to go, it'll just keep feeding once some of the other guys either graduate or leave. It's just gonna keep on being a consistent feeder into the program.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple of people who have their ears a little more plugged into the prospect world, and yeah, Mooney, they're very happy with him. Very just one of the top players in that age group, just continues to grow. And I think for looking at what Bob's been able to do throughout his career and at various stops, he's good at finding those diamonds in the rough and just players who are getting better and just be able to develop them. You got to remember, Matty Nyes was not Matty Nyes, the Matty Nyes that left when he committed to Minnesota. He continued to grow and developed. You're also getting those top high-end players, but you need to have those mix of both, where players who are going to be on the up and up on the development, and also players who are already on the high-end players, and you want to continue to take them to that next level too. So for someone who is a first-round NHL pick or has the potential to be one, you want them to leave college hockey having dominated this level and ready to go on to that next level. And that's the hope with the players that you're coming in. I can't say I know as much about Hayden Reed. I just know he was a former Colgate commit. They lost their head coach. Their head coach retired at the end of last year, so I'm sure that had something to do with opening up their recruiting again. But it's the recruiting world continues to go on. Players are committing in, and it's good to see.
It's going to be interesting to see how the recruiting world changes a bit after this year. Again, the COVID eligibility winds down. And, I think just from what we've seen, I think the transfer portal is going to still remain fairly active. So if you can continue to get the players homegrown, like you go out and you get those recruits, whether it's, you have those family connections, which could be a cousin of Logan Cooley, for example, or you continue to knock on the door of a national championship every year. I think all of that helps. And certainly with Bob Motzko, again, as you mentioned, stops certainly in St. Cloud, he was able to bring in high-end talent that I don't think other coaches in his position would have been able to, just because of the way that he recruits. He's very aggressive and identifying and getting, those commits to, actually say, yes, I'm coming to your program. I think the Gophers are sitting pretty well